Good morning, Ninja. If you're new to my channel, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome back. You can tell it's early in the morning. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscription button and help support my channel. Hit that thumbs up if you like the content of the video. And if y'all want to see more of this fabulousness, go ahead and hit that notification bell so you get instant notifications when I upload a video. So, this is about keto, the journey, but not about keto, the current nutrition plan and state of awesomeness that I'm finding myself in. Okay, so back about 7 years ago, I was in a horrible marriage. Horrible. I was married to an alcoholic who did not treat me well at all. He was incredibly controlling, verbally abusive. The short hair, like I couldn't have short hair. He used to tell me I look like a bull dyke. I'm sorry if you are part of the LGBT community and that is offensive. I'm not meaning to offend you. I'm just telling you what it was for me. He used to tell me that I looked like a man, that I wasn't attractive, I wasn't sexy, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, that was a long time ago in my life. But he was so controlling. He was so controlling emotionally. He was definitely a narcissist as far as, like, he would get really drunk, he would be mean to me, and then the next day when I was in tears and I would be saying, I can't believe you said that to me, I can't believe that you called me that, I can't believe that you embarrassed me like that in front of everyone, his excuse was always the same. Well, if you weren't so pressuring, you want your house to be perfect, you want this to be perfect, and la 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 la, and you put so much pressure. He would take every single form of abuse and make it somehow my fault. Somehow my fault. I felt like I was freaking losing my mind, like I was going crazy. He was so mean to me. So mean. Anyway, I don't want to go back there because that is raw and that is real for me. There was a lot of emotional scar and emotional garbage in that part of my life. Well, anyway, so during that part of my life, I started writing a book. I'm not kidding you. It was almost 900 pages. I started writing a book. It was part real, part fantasy kind of thing. But I had moved so far away from Jesus. So far away. I was so lost. And the funny thing is though this book that I was writing was so therapeutic. It honestly healed me. This book healed me. But it is so dark. And it is so not who I am anymore. And it is so anger and frustration and just being lost. And I saved it on thumb drive, but I still haven't published it. I've had a couple people that I shared this book with tell me that it would be a hit, but I would be so embarrassed to put that toxic content, what I consider toxic, and I consider it toxic because I don't believe it would be Jesus approved. If I could not get up in front of a church congregation and read this book, then I'm probably not going to want to put it out there, right? Because at some point in my life, I'm going to have to answer for that. I believe that. I'm not asking you to. I'm not asking you. I'm not pushing. I'm not preaching. I'm not asking you anything. I'm not forcing my beliefs on you. I'm simply saying that I have a full book written and I won't publish it because it doesn't represent who I am and who I am in Jesus. Can I get a witness? Hey, Recycle Mama. So, I finished this book. And there are a lot of, the reason I'm saving this old book that I wrote is because I believe that at some point in my life, maybe retirement, I'm going to go back through this book and I am going to rewrite the meat of the story is good. I've got to clean it up. I got to make it less angry. I got to make it less resentful. I got to make it more about the character Diane. That's the name of the main character. More about the character Diane and less about trying to get a hit. Because, like I said, the book was part true, based a lot on my life, but I added a bunch of fantasy stuff into it to try to sell a book. But then, of course, I found Jesus Christ. I renewed my faith. I rededicated my life. And I just couldn't put that garbage out there. Couldn't. So that's kind of that little thumb drive that I keep kind of as my little reminder of just how angry and toxic that my life was at that time. And I don't even recognize the emotion in any of those words anymore. That's not me. It was a part of my life. It was a section of my life. It was a trial that I went through. But, anyway. So the new book, I'm not going to give too much away. I got to tell you what happened though. So I had the most vivid dream ever. It felt so real. And I actually dreamt the whole entire first chapter of my book. The whole chapter. The title of the book, the title of the first chapter, the characters, it's going to be based on my life. It's going to be based on a true story. But God gave me the entire first chapter of this book, and I woke up, I brewed my coffee, went straight to my computer, and I just feverishly started typing. Now let me tell you a little bit something about myself. I dropped out of high school in 9th grade. Yeah, okay, well, don't judge me. And then later on, of course, I went back to school. Later on in my adult life, I became a parent. Tired of working dead-end jobs. I scraped and scratched and clawed my way back out of that hole that I was in. But anyway, so I grammatically, like if you're grading punctuation, any paper that I write is going to get an F. It's going to. I can form a complete sentence. I know where to put most commas. I mean, I'm not completely bad. But I would have to say, if you were to grade a writing paper of mine, it would be on a 10th grade high school level. I mean, that's embarrassing because I'm a grown woman, but it's just my life, 18, became a single mom, working 2-3 jobs, struggled to get my GED, Okay, so grammar has not been my primary focus in my life. It's been just basically providing one meal at a time. Anyway, so long story short, but I've had people read my writing and say that what's going to make me a successful writer is that I write from the heart, and it's impassioned writing, and that they can feel the moment, that I have that ability to describe something so that they feel what I was feeling. You can publish your own book. Yeah, so I'm going to be looking into options. So I sat down, and within an hour, I outlined an entire chapter of the book. I'm not kidding you. On Word document, I have now 4 full pages of writing. Now, when I say outline, I mean like I have about 4 or 5 sentences for each paragraph. And then I'm going to go in and fluff it up. Take things out. So the way that I write, and I wrote the first book that I wrote, I did not publish it, but the first book that I wrote was 860 something pages. Was what I did is when I would get into my writing mode, like when I was excited about writing or I had a new idea, I'd sit down and I'd just blah, 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 and type it all out. And then I'd wait a day or two, and I'd go back when I had some calm and quiet, and I would read like a paragraph, and I would say, okay, well, instead of using this, because I use this somewhere else in another paragraph, I have this, my worst habit as a writer is using a word repetitively, starting a sentence with so and because. So getting creative on beginning sentences, descriptive words. But I've had a lot of people tell me that I am awesome at using metaphors to really pull a reader in and make them understand. So one of the reviews that I got now I've pulled the book down, so it's no longer found anywhere on the internet. But the title of the book that I had originally written was called She Kisses Frogs. And it's no longer anywhere on the internet. You cannot find it anywhere on the internet. But I had a couple peer reviews who I had so many of them. They tore apart the grammar, of course, because they were all writers. And they all wrote professionally. So they looked at my writing and they're like, your grammar needs a little work. But what all of them said was that they love my style of writing, and they love that I write from the heart, and that I was able to pull them in, and all of them agreed that they loved the character. They didn't necessarily love the whole story, but they loved how I developed the character. So, that's a good thing. So anyway, that's what I'm doing now. Like I wasn't busy enough. So my Princess Ninja page on Facebook, I've been neglecting. I need to pop in there this morning and do a Monday morning motivation. But I won't get into that. So not like I'm busy enough trying to do my YouTube thing. I am almost at 800 subscriptions now. Thank you so much for everyone who's contributing to that. Thank you for the watch time minutes. I was like, it's crazy. Somebody's been binge watching my videos because my watch time minutes went up like 2,000 something minutes this weekend. So that felt good. Unless that's a time delay. I don't know. I'll just whatever. Anyway, so I'm going to be writing this book. And so pray for me, those of you that do pray, because I want this to help people. I truly, instead of doing what I did the first time and writing a book strictly to sell a book, I want to write a book that's going to change someone's life. And it doesn't have to change 1,000 people's lives. I want God to direct the words so that it touches whoever it needs to touch, right? So I want this to be a positive and inspiring book. I want people to feel connected. I want the person that's sitting out there and feels alone and feels like nobody understands them to pick up this book and say, oh my gosh, she wrote about my life. Somebody else understands my life. Anyway, so just lift that up, and let him give me the words to put on that paper. I am convinced that he brought me the inspiration, so I'm going for it. I'm excited. So I've even set myself a goal because I know how I am, and I know that I'm going to have moments where I'm going to write, and I'll sit at that computer and I'll write 7 paragraphs. And then there's going to be days where I'm like, I don't know what to write. Writer's block, right? And so my goal is to have this book finished when I hit my goal weight. So I'm losing about 2 pounds a month, 2 to 3 pounds a month. I have a goal of about 40 more pounds. So 2 years. I'm going to have the book finished in 2 years. Now, with me being so OCD and not being able to leave any stone unturned, I'm probably going to complete it long before that, but I've given myself a 2-year goal. And in order to finish this book in 2 years, that means that every single solitary week of my life, I need to be able to sit down and write out at least 2 or 3 paragraphs, right? I don't know how long this book is going to be. I don't want it to be a really long book. I can't tell you what the book's going to be about, so I can't tell you where I'm at. But anyway, so I had this dream Sunday night. And the entire first chapter of this book was based on this dream, this idea, this inspiration. Thank you, Jesus. I hope you guys all have a good day. As far as me for the week, I'm getting excited. I'm getting ready to go see the cardiologist. He's going to be reading all of my pacemaker report. Hopefully, he says I can get back to exercising. Even though I know that keto and intermittent fasting are doing great things for my body, I do know that I need to pick it up. Pump it up, right? I'm excited. I have so much energy from keto, from intermittent fasting. I did put a little MCT, which Dr. Jason Fung says that less than 50 calories of MCT is not breaking a fast. So I used 1 teaspoon of MCT oil in my coffee this morning because today is staff meeting, which brings me to another struggle on my keto journey. Today I will be stuck in a room with about 12 people, pigging out on all kinds of food that's not healthy, that's not keto. And I have packed myself my salad with my eggs and my bacon and my raw sunflower seeds and, you know, blah, 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 healthy out there. So, you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I'm not going to get into that. So anyway, I also brought some green tea with jasmine today. And I found some stevia with raspberry in it. So I'm going to try a few drops of that and some green tea today. But other than that, I'm just getting myself a casual workout. You can see I'm not hurting myself. My heart rate right now, even with all of this, me waving my arms and being crazy, my heartbeat right now is only 98. So the only time my doctor's concerned is when my heart rate goes much higher than 100, 120. So until I get the go ahead from him, I'm listening. Anyway, thank you for listening. Keep me in your thoughts and prayers. I gotta stay motivated. I'm counting on some of you guys to keep me, you know, every once in a while, if you don't hear me talk about it, ask me about the book, right? Keep me on track. I've given myself 2 years. 2 years. Maybe if I was retired, I would be able to do it much faster than that, but right now, 2 years. That's where I'm aiming. Anyway, love you guys. Have a great one.